Okay. Um, so let me start with this week's reflection. Should be week 5. I should have done this last week. This is a Monday, but I should have done this video before today, which is prior to February the 14th. Still similar things to go through. My week in the past has been, just over Lunar New Year, a whole 5 day of a break. Was a decent break. And I found it hard to tune myself in from the break mode to working mode. So what happened was that I worked, I restarted my working routine, which lasted quite a long period. So I didn't take a break throughout the week, which I regretted it at this moment. Continuing with reading, obviously, the past week with Stoic philosophy, contemplating on this book on how to die properly. I didn't really understand it. So I suppose I either finish it or repeat or start a new one. A new insight from the past few weeks has been this learning from the new ancient Chinese philosophy. Been reading the book, been watching videos on ancient Chinese philosophy, I Ching, a helpful one to contemplate on, talking about the key to nature and the universe. I think it's quite useful. And let's talk about the usefulness. Primarily, the secrets to us, how to, behave properly as, human beings or citizens of the earth. It sounds rather, macro and broad, but I assure you that it's none of anything that's boring. It's definitely helpful to apply to our daily lives. And also, I think it's really important, the video, that we take emphasis on how we manage our relationships, right? Internal relationships in family, parents, siblings, as well as your intimate relationships with your boyfriend or girlfriend. So the idea of eating helped us to manage not only relationship part of life, but also in terms of parenting, in terms of relationships, like I mentioned, in terms of how we deal with, work, stress, trauma, or even positive matters. So that was a good video. Was a good set of video to go through, and we'll be continuing watching those series. In terms of my learnings, still similarly, take good care of yourself mentally and physically. Let's say I did not take a break last week. It's a mental straining marathon. It's not good for you, not good for your mind, not good for your body. So consistency, right? It's still about consistency, balance, and taking control of what you can control, and leaving the things that's uncontrollable to whoever is responsible of doing so. and ultimately treating it with indifference. And that takes time, takes effort to practice. And that's the sole purpose of philosophy, is to disregard, well, not to disregard, but to take less emphasis on our readings, but to make those readings valuable to your lives. Yeah, been debating on whether to watch videos more or to read more. I still want to keep a decent balance between these two. Thinking that would, one sec. So, yeah, I got interrupted. So let's keep on going to what has been troubling you this week. Troubling thoughts. I, in fact, have not been troubles. I was feeling fine. And most of my troublesome thoughts have been resolved by my readings from philosophy, and I keep them in the core of my heart to remind myself the importance of practicing. One thing I was struggling has to do with schoolwork, has to do with doing things that's not as dislike of me, and how to deal with things you don't like, how to deal with things that you don't like, you can't do, and you don't do well, but then you still have to do it. I guess this goes back to choices, the beginning of something. You have to think through, to be really logical and objective, and to consider what may happen. Because once you start something, then you can never retrieve, you can never go back in time to it. So let this year of grad school, whether it's useful or not, let this year be a constant reminder of decision making, of, obviously that you didn't quite learn a lot from this school year, but you've learned a lot outside of class. Yeah, really important thing about decision making is to making sure that the first step of everything is absolutely crucial. If I could swear, I would, but to make sure that the first damn step, okay, is not easy matter. And ultimately, it's your decision to make. And that's what we say, that you have to take full responsibility for decisions, and you have to walk your own path. How can I improve? I think I still have to go back to the idea of balance. Living according to nature has been one of the greatest advice I've read so far, to keep on going with the nature, as in, sleep when you need to sleep, wake up when you need to wake up, do your exercise, aerobic, anaerobic, all the fundamentals of keeping one healthy mentally and physically. Setting on something about mindset, perhaps, see if I can improve. Environment, right? I mean, you hang out with the same group of people, especially family members. You can't really take blame of them if they're of negative influence. I'm just taking things into consideration that we might learn unconsciously negative behaviors from our family members, and we don't tend to recognize that, and others might clearly. Yeah, so I think that's it. Keeping this a decent length, and I'm glad I've been able to sit up straight, look into the camera and film and obviously speak a bit slowly and making sure that your mind is clear when speaking. And this is, I think I'm doing quite fine with this, and I can keep it going. Okay, I think I'm going to end this right now. I can do this next week. See you.